According to financial disclosures, Trump made 22,000 stock trades just in 2025. To compare, Joe Biden, while he's president over the course of 4 years, made just 13. And then there's crypto. As we know, he has made billions. Trump has tripled his net worth over this year and a half that he's been president. And a big portion of that was his own crypto coin. He essentially earned over $2 billion from this, basically taking the wealth from the people who bought it because they lost $2 billion from it. Now, corruption, this level of corruption, when you get richer at the cost of other people, is frankly unpopular in America on a bipartisan level. The news just went and talked to Trump voters and talked about this corruption, this grift. Take a look to what they had to say. These are Trump voters.
That's very frustrating to actually hear that. And like I said, I don't do the politics and stuff, but to hear that come from another American that, you know, is not getting $2 million put in their pocket.
$2 billion. $2
billion, $2 million, $2 trillion. You know, that's a lot of money. You know, that's a lot of money. And that would help out a lot of people around here. A lot of homeless people. You could open shelters. You could really help somebody out with that.
Somebody's making money on the side. It's not me. That's all I got to say.
Is it frustrating?
It's frustrating that you see your president getting richer and richer and the middle class is getting poor. And that's about it.
Life in America right now, the economy's tough. People are struggling, you know, and hopefully it'll change.
He definitely made lots of promises, and he made them seem like they were going to come a lot quicker, faster than they actually were to ever come or ever will come. Like 90% of all the elections in the past, you know, the candidates, they promised the moon and fall short at the end of the day. But I mean, I don't think it was the Donald Trump that we saw in 2016, and I don't think that he can make up for it in what's left of his current term.
Perhaps the only thing that is bipartisan in this deeply divided country is corruption. Americans don't like cheaters. And Trump's disclosure reports, so many people coming through him, so many really disturbing trades, like buying Palantir so close to him on Truth Social, pushing it. The Donald Trump stock tracker, there's actually a stock tracker on X, tracked what he bought in NVIDIA. So his accounts bought between 5 million and 25 million. The reason why there's a range is there's a checkbox, the amount, and they don't actually have to specify. Trump doesn't have to specify the exact amount. He buys it just 1 week after letting NVIDIA and AMD sell their chips to China through the U.S. government. It is evidently the largest trade he made out of all of his trades. That's just one tiny example. The fact is, as president, he has not only access to information in which to use that information to do what we call insider trading, but also he has the power to influence the actions, to create the actions in which you are going to make money. And let's talk about crypto. Now, crypto, Trump said that he loves crypto. Right here, I'm going to show you a clip of an interview. He says how much he loves crypto. But the fact is, he has been the worst president for crypto. If you bought Bitcoin the day he became president, you would have lost $40,000 to this day. Bitcoin is way down. He has done well in crypto because he bought all the money in this pump and dump scheme, you usually call it, where it inflates and you sell at the high point and everybody else loses. Well, that happened with his crypto. So he has done well with the crypto, but the rest of the folks don't. Think of that. Listen to that. His words. He said, how well we've done. Well, we haven't done well. You have done well. Take a listen to this interview.
Well, I was there before I was in office. But the way I view crypto is a little differently. We have to be at the top. Otherwise, China's going to take it over. Like, for instance, AI. We're leading substantially in AI over China and everybody else. I mean, we're leading. When I was with President Xi 3 weeks ago, he greeted me and his first words, I mean, literally were, wow, you've really done a great job. You've really, because this country was dead. We had a dead country. Now we have the hottest country in the world. And the way I look at AI or the way I look at crypto, is if we're not going to do it, China's going to get it. Most likely China, but somebody else. Japan is somebody else. And I want to, it's a big industry. Crypto, if you call it an industry, but it's a big deal. And crypto is a big deal. You look at it and the way it's grown over the years. You have believers, you don't have believers, you know, whatever it is, but it's a big deal. And anything we do, I want to be number one in. And we're number one in crypto, and we're also number one in AI.
Just like everything with Trump, it's always about himself. When he says we, he really means I, or at least him and his family, but not the rest of us, not the country he's supposed to lead and watch out for. Because Trump not only made money when his investors and his meme lost money, but he out-earned the biggest listed U.S. crypto firms in 2025. We're talking about him making more than these institutions like Coinbase, CleanSpark, BitDeer, Hive. I mean, they have been around since the beginning or for years with crypto. But suddenly Trump is this crypto genius. Suddenly he's making the most. So when he says we are doing well, it is him. And of course, not only does he want to continue this grift, but he's actually even floating the idea of course, not taxing the gains in crypto. Again, there's not a lot of the rest of us who have made any gains in crypto. He has made the gains of crypto, and he's now trying to even change tax policy in order to benefit himself. The corruption, the grift does not end. Now, of course, Americans are getting very upset about the congressional stock trades. Republicans aren't even willing to unwind that. Never mind reining in a president's stock trades. Mike Johnson said not that long ago his thoughts on why we shouldn't ban Congress from trading stocks. Take a listen.
Well, look, you know, the salary of Congress has been frozen since 2009. You know, when you adjust for inflation, a member of Congress today is making 31% less than they made in that year. It goes down every year. And over time, if you stay on this trajectory, you're going to have less qualified people who are willing to make the extreme sacrifice to run for Congress. I mean, it's just people just make a reasonable decision as a family on whether or not they can come and move to Washington, have a residence here, residence at home, and do all the things that are required. So the counter argument is, and I have some sympathy, look, at least let them like engage in some stock trading so that they can continue to, you know, take care of their family.
So incredibly disturbing that the Republicans are willing to mimic Trump and no longer care about affordability, no longer care whether or not an American is making a living wage. They're, Johnson, so completely out of touch, saying that somehow these members of Congress basically need to trade on inside information in order to have their version of a living wage. Of course, they earn so much more than the average American. But let's even say they wanted to make more. Well, you can make more. You could go ahead and work in the private sector. Nobody is forcing you to, quote, take a pay cut in order to work for the government. This is called public service. There's a reason why it's called public service. It's because you are actually maybe volunteering a little bit more of your time and talent than you could get in the private sector. That's literally the definition of service. Perhaps what we need to do is not have this idea that we need political careers. Why don't you go ahead and work in Congress for a few years and then go back to the private sector or whatever? This idea that somebody has to become a politician for life, first of all, I don't even know why that concept exists. They certainly don't do a good enough job. They become obsessed about getting reelected instead of doing their job. Perhaps if they thought they were going to be of service for just a term or two, they would be willing to make the bold and courageous choices that Americans need. But no, Mike Johnson's solution to this problem is to allow Congress to trade on inside information because they happen to have that inside information, not because they work in a private sector, but because they work for us. And being a former corporate transactional attorney, where what I did was help public companies file with the SEC in order for the entire public to know exactly what they're doing, this is really dangerous for the entire entire stock market, because without stability and transparency, it all falls apart. Be sure to subscribe to the MeidasTouch YouTube channel. Be sure to find the Mistrial podcast wherever you listen to audio. Super excited for an audio podcast. Please help subscribe and comment and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcast. And grateful for our sponsors because they never censor what I have to say.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.